And so it begins. Hello, everybody. My name is Valiant Gideon, and I'm bringing you a series that I'm starting now on Mini Metro. This game's been out about 5 years on PC, about 4 years on phones and on mobile platforms, about 2 years on Nintendo Switch, and just about 6 months ago it came out on PS4. So lots of different places to pick this game up. It's a simple simulation sim where you are building subway systems or underground systems in various cities. If I hit the play button, you'll see there are a lot of different cities to play here, and you can go through a bunch of them. I'll just scroll through a lot of them. Now, when you first open the game, you see some of these will be locked. Like, for instance, I can't go into Washington, D.C. until I complete some of the challenges in the previous cities. And that's what this series is going to revolve around, is completing the challenges. If I click on the little achievement button or the medal button there on the city, you'll see that each city has 3 different challenges. I have, notified by the green check, completed the challenges already for London, but the first challenge is just simply to deliver 200 passengers. The second challenge is to deliver 1,000. And the last challenge is a little more difficult. It's deliver 1,000 passengers, but to do so using no more than 1 tunnel. That third challenge on every city is a little more challenging. Paris's challenge is 200 passengers, 1,000 passengers, or the final challenge is 1,300 passengers, so using no more than 3 total lines. If you've played the game, that makes a lot of sense to you. If you haven't, it will make sense as we start to play. And I'm going to use this video kind of as a basic introduction to the game, as well as try to accomplish the very first challenge for London, which is deliver 200 passengers in the city before I run out of time. The way that works, it's not really a time-based game. It is a challenge-based game. So as we get into the game, you see you instantly start with 3 different subway stations: a triangle, a circle, and a square. Now, up in the top right-hand corner, my clock has started, and I'm going to go ahead and pause that. And just to pay attention to this for a minute, for those who haven't played, we are on Monday. That will go through the week, Monday through Sunday. And on Sunday, if you are still moving ahead in the game, you haven't lost yet, you will get another tool to help you. That may be another line, that may be another locomotive, that may be a carriage car that you can carry more passengers on a locomotive, a tunnel, or a bridge, or various different things that the game has for you. I can go pause, which I've done right now. I can go normal speed, or I can go double speed. Down at the bottom of the screen, you can see the tools that we had to work with. We have 3 locomotives. We have 3 lines, the yellow, the red, and the blue. And we also have 3 tunnels, which will help us get under the waterway here that we have running through London. Now, the idea of the game is to simply move passengers from one station to another. It's that simple, and as you successfully do that, over here in the top right, the number will count up as to how many passengers you've delivered. When a station fills up or gets too many passengers, you will see it will start to deteriorate. A large circle forms around the station, and as that circle fills up, as more passengers are there waiting, eventually you get to the point of overload, and the station will fail, and the game will come to an end. So challenge number 1 for London is simply deliver 200 passengers before we get to that fail point. Now, here's what I'm going to do is I want to show you the fail point to those who have not seen the game before I'm putting it on double speed. If I don't put any lines out, none of these passengers are going to get delivered. Now, so you can see now, it's trying to tell me drag from one station to another. So I'm going to do it just so you can see what happens. And I will say, let's connect this circle to this square. Now, a train will come up, and it's beginning to deliver that square. Now, the triangle up here stays here because it has nowhere to connect to. And now you can see the fail point taking place. This circle has gone around my center station. There's too many passengers here for the station to hold it. It's overcrowded. And once it gets to that black point and that black circle completely fills up, the game will come to an end. And there you go. I have now failed. Game over. Overcrowding at this station has forced your metro to close. 6 passengers traveled on your metro over 5 days. Well, that's how the game goes. And so in order to begin the game, I've restarted, and I'm going to go ahead and pause, and I'm going to pay attention now to what I have. I don't have any passengers wanting to go anywhere right now, but I'm going to go ahead and just connect in all of my stations together on the yellow line. And what you'll find as I let this go is the train will go in this circle, stopping when passengers need to be picked up. There's a triangle, picked up from the circle, delivered to Triangle Station, and dropped off. Now, new stations pop up as we continue to play the game. And over here, we've got this circle way over here. Now, I can do lots of things to pick up the circle and get this passenger who wants to go from the circle to the square. I can move this and drag the station and pick up that one, or I can go ahead and draw a new line. I have two new lines I can use, a red and a yellow. So I'm going to just take and draw a new line and get that down to the square. So now that particular train will carry all the passengers from there to the square and drop them off. See, it dropped off that triangle, which the yellow train will now come around and pick up and deliver as it goes around. You can see my number of passengers counting up. I'm at 8 total delivered passengers. I've got to get to 200 to complete this challenge. What am I going to do with this circle? You know what? Just because I can, I'm going to draw a brand new station from that circle to that square. And now I've got this triangle and I'm out of stations, so I have to adjust the stations I currently have. So what am I going to do? Well, typically what you want to do is circles, meaning if you can get your trains going in a circuitous route, that is better. It's more efficient time-wise, and so that's an idea. But what I've got a triangle over here now, and what you want to do is if you can connect all 3 types of stations to one line, that helps because no one line is dependent on another to deliver passengers. So I'm going to extend my blue down here and try to come back up here. Oh, I cannot do that because I'm out of tunnels. I've used all 3 tunnels. So just for safety's sake, to make sure we get where I need to go, I'm going to connect that one that way. And we're going to do that. So we've got quite a system going here. Now, we could be a bit more efficient. And there, we've reached the end of week 1. Very good, very good. We've reached the end of week 1 successfully, and we have a new locomotive. And every week you get the locomotive, and now I get a new asset for my train. I could add a new line, which would give me a 4th line I could do, or 2 more tunnels. Well, given that I'm out of tunnels, I think that's the smart move. And with the 2 tunnels, I can make a circuitous route for the blue, and I can make a circuitous route for the red, although I don't need the tunnel to get that done. And now I've got 3 different lines, and all 3 of them, importantly, are in circles, and all 3 of them, importantly, contain at least one of each type of station. I'm going to come down and grab that other circle, and that helps me introduce to you a couple of concepts here. First, you're going to notice there's a lot less squares than there are circles and triangles. That's designed to try to bottleneck your subway, and you've got to get those square passengers to that square station, and sometimes it's not possible. Here we're very lucky early on that I can get the square on all 3 of my lines, so it's not too much of a problem. Another issue that you see is the game will pop up these new stations and put a lot of the same type of station in a row. That's difficult because now see that my train's going to come through the triangle, drop off those 4 triangles and pick up those 2 circles. It's going to drop the 2 circles here, but then it's going to have to pick up this triangle, this square, and another triangle, and both of these squares and a triangle, and it doesn't have enough room. And so because of that, I'm just going to pop over here and grab that circle. Because of that, now passengers are left in that circle station, the last one in the row. Well, there's ways I can deal with that. I can put another locomotive on the blue line going the opposite direction, which would help alleviate that. But what you really want to try to do is alternate, if you can, between types of stations, which helps alleviate the problem. Right now I'm doing okay. I've got 1 train on each line, and the only train that's really under any kind of stress right now is the blue, but he's cleared it up. He's doing all right. And then we are at 88 passengers delivered. We're almost halfway to our point. Now it's a ways out there, that triangle, but it's good because it allows me to break up. So now instead of going circle, 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 I'm going circle, circle, triangle, circle, and it breaks up that monotony on the line. We've reached the end of week 2, the start of week 3, and we have a new locomotive. We have another line I could add, so I could get a 4th line if I wanted, which isn't bad, but I also have the interchange. The interchange is great. You don't get them very often, but what's really great about the interchange is, see, I can take this interchange and I can plop it right here, where all 3 of my lines are. Now what you'll notice is, when these trains come into the interchange, which is now signified because it's bigger, is they can offload and unload passengers a lot faster. And because all 3 lines are going in there, and that's going to be a station with heavy traffic, every square on the board has to go there at this point. That's a good place for my interchange. Got another circle over here, which isn't really great. I'm going to go try to pick that up. I can't pick it up because I don't have enough tunnels to do so. Let's grab that triangle. That's actually very good for the red line. What can I do? So let me try to rearrange my blue a little bit to see if I can pick up. Nope, I'm out of... Oh, that's really bad. That's really bad. Another circle, which is interesting. What that means is I could take the blue line off of that particular square and do that and just do a closed line on my blue. It gives me 1 more tunnel, but in order to go get this, I need 2 tunnels. Oh, it's not good. It's not good. And here's the reason why you don't want an isolated line. Like this blue line is isolated all by itself, even though it has all 3 of the main types of stations. Now we have a 4th unique station. And if anybody here wants to go to somewhere on the blue, then we're going to have a problem. Right now we don't. We're very early stages of the game. We're already at 152 passengers. We've got this no problem. But I do need to readjust my stations a bit because this is going to overload very, very quickly. I need to pause just to make sure that I get to the end game. Now, one of the things that you can do at this game is you can always pause. You can come in. You can delete everything if you want to. Now, I'm going to leave the red line because that's a great little line for me. I'm just going to try to be a little more creative with my other lines. So I'm going to draw the yellow line here. That leaves me 3 tunnels. I'm going to use 1 there. I want to come get this. I'll duplicate there. That's fine. There we go. I've managed to reconstruct. The only problem with this reconstruction, quite honestly, is that this blue line runs circle, 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 circle. That's going to be a problem. But, you know, we're at almost to the challenge. The first challenge is usually very easy, and you're going to see we're going to cross that 200 mark here in just a minute. But there's a basic introduction to the game. You kind of get the idea of what it does, how to play the game, and what to do. You just kind of keep connecting in these new stations as they come along. Oh, we've gotten to week 4. We get another locomotive. I'll take the tunnels. Why not? I don't need them. We're at 184. I'm not even going to bother connecting up this circle because we're about to hit 200. We watch it tick up to 191, 195, and 97, and there it is, 200. We've reached the first challenge. I hope this gives you a good introduction to the game, a very basic idea of how the game is played, and you've seen some of the basic building blocks. Hopefully you can also see how the game gets more and more complicated as you go on. It gets a little more difficult to play, and the higher numbers become harder to achieve. So that's it for this one. We have achieved the first London Challenge, 200 passengers delivered, and we have been successful. Next video we'll take on challenge number 2. That's all for now. Valiant Gideon out.